We are good. Welcome,
Mhm.
everyone, to another social hour. It's
Mhm.
May 28th,
Everybody,
2025. Here with us, we have, of course, Alex McKinley and Ava Johnson. Ava, do you
hello,
want to say
hello.
hello and do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us what, just kind of briefly, and we'll get into some stuff and maybe we'll ask you some more questions.
Of course. Thank you so much, Dave and Alex, for having me. AAPC, I'm Ava. I'm National Advisory Board, the current, and I'm also the Director of Coding and Documentation at Mount Sinai Hospital in New York. I am remote, so I currently live in California. I moved back here during the pandemic, but yes, so happy to be here with you guys. Thanks.
Oh, awesome. So you're in California, but you were in New York. So you travel back and forth between there a lot?
I do. I visit New York quarterly and make my rounds, visit the practices and, the groups at work. So
That's awesome. Cool. Well, this is going to be an exciting social hour. We've got a couple guests, waiting for a couple guests to show up too. So this will be interesting how it flows. But let's just talk about what's happened the past 2 weeks. What's been going on? We had Memorial Day. Did you do anything fun for Memorial Day, Ava? Have any plans?
did I? Well, I spent some quiet time. Oh my gosh. I feed outside cats. Just a little fun fact about me. It's not
Just
I,
strays?
I choose my time to share that information because different people view it differently. But one of my favorites passed away on Memorial Day. And so that was kind of a hard day. But what's funny about Memorial Day is I found out that you're not supposed to like wish people a happy Memorial Day because it's not supposed to be like a joyful holiday. It's like, remembering those who served, even people in the military or firefighters, police officers, different people who served and, passed away defending our country and, our people. So that was an interesting thing for me to learn. That was the first time I'd heard about that this year. So, but yeah, no, it was good. Just spent time with a few friends and went for like a beach hike. So it was good. Would you do anything fun, Dave? Alex?
Yeah, I did. I'm curious what Alex did first.
Well,
Let him go first.
on the Memorial Day front, our tradition is on Memorial Day itself, we meet at my in-laws' gravesite, and we meet with our other family. So we bring treats. It's kind of, it's interesting because it's kind of a fun time to gather with family and to remember our loved ones. And I don't know if this is creepy or not, but I like to stroll around the cemeteries, and I will literally Google names and just learn about them, see what I can find from obituaries and things like that. So that was my Memorial Day. I guess, like you said, it's not a celebration, but remembrance, I guess.
Sure.
And then the other than that, I had kids, my son's baseball tournament all weekend long. So just
No.
hanging out and baseballing it. Ava, are you a baseball fan at all?
In this moment, I wish I could say I was, but
Are you a sports
At
fan
this
at all?
moment. Nice.
I mean, I watched the Super Bowl for the snacks. I'm just gonna be honest.
Okay,
The
that's a
snack,
good reason. I like
hanging
it.
out.
Maybe the halftime show if it's got some of
And the
these.
halftime show. Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah.
Dave.
The commercials, right? Oh yeah.
That's right. Did you do anything fun, Dave, or nice?
Yeah, so I took a little trip up to I'm pretty close to Oregon, but I took a trip over to the coast and went up to a place called Florence. It's this
Oh.
little coastal town in Oregon, and there's a little church there that I went up there to buy a book, honestly, because
Mm.
they've been printing these books. I have it right here. It's called the Holy Megillah. It's a
Whoa.
Nasserean Bible. It's
Oh my.
about, I don't know if you're familiar with the Essenes or anything like that. It has nothing
Yeah.
to do with healthcare. So we're not going to talk about that. But I went up there to get a few books and ended up taking a hike on the beach too. So it's funny that you said that. There's this
Ooh.
hike called Hobbit hike or Hobbit something, and you go
Wait,
through this
Hobbit
like
hike?
enchanted green little area that has seashells up on the side of the walls because at one point it's underwater. And then you kind of enter, or you kind of exit through this area, and then it just opens up to the beach, and it's just beautiful. It's really cool. So
Oh, it
Hobbit
sounds
hike?
amazing.
Do you know how it got the name Hobbit?
I don't know. Well, I think I do know. A lot of people were like, "Oh yeah, it reminds me of Lord of the Rings." That's probably why they called
Okay.
it the Hobbit Trail or
Oh,
something.
that sounds fun.
I didn't see any hobbits. It didn't really look like Lord of the Rings to me, so it was
I
still
would
cool though.
know.
Yeah, it was a good Memorial Day, and as always, like Alex, you were able to do to reflect, and Ava, you
Yeah,
to reflect on those that have served our country in various ways,
absolutely.
even just remembering those that have passed, and
Yeah.
it's a good moment to reflect. And
By the way, Alex, I'm part Filipino, and I don't know if it's a lot of Asian cultures, but I grew up like having picnics at my like grandma's gravesite with like our family and stuff on Sundays, and
Yeah.
so bringing food. Some people find that funny, but I'm like, that's what we grew up doing.
Hey, real
oh,
quick, I did not know that about you. So I'm half Thai. My dad is
Oh,
from the South, but my mom's from Thailand. So we've got
that's cool.
stuff to talk about
There we go.
at our next conference.
so lumpia is good.
Oh, Dave.
Let's see, what else did I have recently? Not recently. I had a Filipino friend who introduced me to all
Uh-huh.
this great Filipino food last year,
Uh-huh.
last winter. It was cool. Pancit. Oh
Strong.
yeah.
Oh, there you go. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, strong start, Dave. Not
There's a few that
surprised.
are like bouncing around there. They're so good.
All the good surprises.
So Ava, do you want to tell us a little bit about your new role? Because you've kind of taken on some more responsibility here with the APC. So tell us about that.
Right. No, with AAPC, it's just I'm really grateful to be part of the board. I find it so such a privilege to be part of like the room where it happens. I don't know if you're familiar with Hamilton, but like that became one of my favorite things. Like it's just so nice to be part of like the brainstorming or having a voice or a say in, speaking on behalf of the members or challenges or things I've witnessed or heard from other people and just being able to voice that out on behalf of people is just it's such a privilege and it's so impactful and it's just I'm naturally the type of person that likes to observe people or see things going on. So just being able to, help drive improvement and make changes at least by speaking my part. I don't know, I'm just so grateful, so grateful. And, looking forward to like writing articles now for APC's Knowledge Center and, just being a part of this. And I really love the group. There are like 21 of us under Rhonda Buckhold's stewardship. And it's just everyone just imagine being in a room full of like over 20 leaders and this everyone's really strong, but there's so much grace and the communication's excellent. Just hearing all the different ideas that people have and different views on the same things. It's fascinating and it's so nice.
Yeah, I bet you learn a lot just being immersed with all
Right.
the people. That's so cool. When you have a lot to add too, Ava, you've been helping out the company AAPC for a long time. You've been a member for a while. You hold, I think, all the credentials. So, and you're very humble about it. Maybe not all of them, but a lot. You have a long, long string of them, but you have a lot to add too. So it's cool. You well-deserved position that you're in.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, we have in our waiting room, we have David Umpierre, who is joining us as our first guest. I think we should let David in. We haven't had a chance to speak with him yet, so we're just going to tell him that we're live and we're going to just bring him in and get going. So we'll see if he's able to turn on his camera and his mic. All
Good.
right.
David,
Hi. How are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for joining us, David. We're glad you're here. Right now, we are live on Facebook. So just wanted to say welcome. We've got Ava Johnson with us and Alex and I, and we're excited to talk about your magazine article. But first of all, we were talking about our Memorial Day, kind of what we did over the weekend. You want to maybe just say where you're from, kind of what you did this weekend, and we'll get into it.
Sure. So I am from San Juan, Puerto Rico, our local chapter of the year as well. Um, I have to say, Puerto Rico doesn't have a lot of tradition about Memorial Day weekend. We usually go to the beach. We usually stay with the family and try to enjoy the long weekend. I was not as uh, lucky. I was working yesterday. I was visiting a client. I was setting up some new business opportunities. So
Mm.
I was able to still get some opportunity there to enjoy the day with some possible new ventures.
Oh, that's awesome. So you still got to have a good Memorial Day in your own way, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, David, you are, yeah, like you said, chapter officer of the year of 2024, right? So last year, everybody evaluated every chapter officer, and we picked you as Officer of the Year. So that's pretty cool. Can you tell us what that was like? I mean, I know, but can you tell the audience what that was like? Did you get nominated? How does that process happen?
So, yeah, so we officers receive an invitation to nominate our fellow officers that we feel deserve the recognition as Officer of the Year. I did my part and I nominated some of my fellow officers for the role. I was lucky enough to be nominated. At least I know about three people that nominated me. One is a fellow officer, two came in from members from our local chapter. We don't get all the details about what they spoke about myself, but we, at least when they made the announcement, they surprised me with a meeting about opportunities for the local chapters, some new opportunities. It was all hush hush, and when I joined, and they changed the slide, it was congratulations, Officer of the Year.
Mhm.
So at that time, I'm thinking I didn't even get a screenshot of that, but I saw quote from three members of our chapter that nominated me. So I share with Alex at Helcon. I haven't I wasn't able at that time to still acknowledge that recognition. I got a bit of imposter syndrome. I was like, I'm doing my thing. I don't think I did so much, and it has to do a lot with, you've seen these other officers and these other chapters that do so much community service, and we do it as well, but we heard some great stories from other chapters. So I didn't feel that that I was, or that the chapter was in that wheelhouse. So I was really surprised when that came in. I have to be honest, after HealthCon, I've been able to process it and start to enjoy it. Um, yeah, this is my fifth year with my local chapter board. So there's been a lot of commitment. There's been a lot of sacrifices there. But I love doing it. I want to give so much back to the community. The community has given me a lot, so I want to pay it forward. And having that recognition acknowledges that what I've done has been good.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a blessing. As most of us know, we serve as officer on a voluntary role, so we are not gaining anything from this. So gaining that type of recognition is super. It's super. It's amazing. Remember, Alex, we talked about it.
Yeah,
We
I
are
just
not used to hearing in Puerto Rico, "You are so amazing."
hey, I
The
have
way it
to.
translates.
You were exhausted.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you were. I don't know. I have an introverted side, and I feel like when all that attention comes on, then it can be a little draining
Yep.
in a good way. It's not a negative, but you I think you might have been overwhelmed. Is that
Yes, I
true or
was.
false? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's hundreds of people at HealthCon coming to you, congratulating you. And like I mentioned, people say, "You are so amazing." And I was like, I'm not that amazing.
Like,
But
You
yeah,
are though.
that recognition, yeah. And
Yeah.
and like Alex, I am a bit of an introvert. I've
Same.
learned to balance that, because being a leader for so long, you need to put that introvert in a drawer and go and execute. That's you cannot allow yourself to be limited by that quality that we have. Uh, so HealthCon was yeah, it was a lot. People like, I remember Victoria Bo. There were so many people coming in, so many people that I recognize, that I look up to, coming in and congratulating me and telling me you've done superb, and I was like, oh my God, this is too much. And then Alex coming in and asking, will you speak for this? Will you do an interview for that? Everyone asking for the pictures. I hate taking photos. I was like, oh my God, this is not for me. But yeah, right now I'm enjoying it. I'm savoring the moment. Being on the
David,
of the magazine twice, that's too much. But yeah.
I dropped a link to our interview with you, me, and Michelle in the
Oh,
chat. So
good.
don't watch it now, viewers. Watch it later. It's
After.
a
When we
good one.
finish, yeah.
Yeah, and your picture is all over in the May issue. You're on the front cover of the May issue. Yeah, Alex is there.
Wow.
And
Oh,
Pretty
and your
dapper.
article or the article talking about it was really cool. The that a couple people that nominated you, it has their little blurb of what they
mhm.
said. I wanted to read one of them. If that's okay. Can I put you on the
Yeah,
spot even more? Because I mean
sure.
you're already here, so why not? I just liked it because it talked about what you mentioned something like, well, I didn't feel like I was doing anything beyond what I normally do. And
Mhm.
honestly, sometimes that's all it takes is just what we normally do, showing up and doing the things that we know we should do, right? It's nothing above and beyond. It's not volunteering. It's not
Yeah.
organizing all these amazing,
Mhm.
big projects. It's just showing up. And that's what I liked about it. But one of the ones I wanted to read to everyone, I guess. Um, it's by Coral Molina, and she had nominated you, and she had this to say about you. So David has embodied what makes us proud to be a member of AAPC and has been an
Mm.
advocate for our organization wherever he goes. Puerto Rico owes a lot to David Umpierre, and we will be forever grateful. So I thought that's
Oh.
really cool. Just you represent Puerto Rico and AAPC so well. And even Puerto Rico is on June's or the chapter of the year. You guys won chapter of the year. So now there's a picture of you and a few other members on the cover of the June issue. I don't know if Alex has got that one handy too, but
Yeah.
just such cool
No,
recognition. So
It
well
is.
done.
Yeah,
Did
and back to back, I was Coral is a fellow officer. She was last year the member development officer. This year, she came in to assist me as the vice president. Uh, we were both last year. We both had decided that we were not going to continue because we dedicated. I think we both have dedicated 4 years already to the chapter, and we were seeing that we were not having a lot of uh, experienced officers nominating for 2025. So at one moment in time, I was like, we don't want to drop the ball. So maybe I'll stay one more year. I had nominated myself for the cap, so I took myself out of the cap run. I was like, I'm gonna prioritize the chapter this year. I'm gonna help develop the new officers coming in, and then we can talk about the cap. So when I decided to make that, Corral was like, okay, I can't help you. I don't want you to be alone with that. So I love Corral for doing that. We've done so much this year to continue the legacy that we've created. I know Alex saw what we did for May Mania. That was a whole new thing. Uh,
it's like you rented out a movie theater.
mm.
yes, we did. We did.
That's so
We
cool.
we did the whole presentation in movie theater. We had a presentation about auditing and compliance on the big screen. It was a huge screen. It wasn't a small screen. And then we did some coding games like a Jeopardy thing using Crowdper, and that was all projected in the movie theater, in the movie screen. We pulled in some glow sticks to make it more enjoyable, light it differently. We were able to include everyone with a popcorn and a soda combo. Uh, so it was a whole experience. And yeah, it's something that I know it's created something a new standard for everyone in the
Mhm.
island. And I don't know if I'm gonna say across the board in the USA as well, but I know Puerto Rico we have some. I don't want to say competing associations, but yes, we do. Um, so yeah, I know that we created a whole new movement, and it's been thanks to officers like Coral that have supported me throughout last year and this year, and all the other officers as well.
Mhm.
It's not a recognition. Officer of the Year is not a recognition for one person, uh,
Mm.
because we don't work alone. We work with a lot of people in the officers and the volunteers and the membership, and that's the important. Membership is the one that nominated myself, and it had to do with something I that they clicked with the new initiatives, with the approach of delivering quality opportunities for our audience. And I talk about it about a lot. I was able to identify we have a particular audience in Puerto Rico. It's not everyone's not a coder. in Puerto Rico. At least not of our the members in our chapter, not all of them are coders. We have a lot of billers, so we have to tailor some of the educations for
Hmm.
them. But I always try to tailor those educations with a mission to develop them into coders.
Mm.
That's my mission. Bring them, try to make them, stay with the chapter and go ahead and certify yourself as a coder. There's an added value with that.
Hmm.
And that has, I think that's been a difference. This year we are focusing a lot of documentation. I know that's the big issue. CMS is just announced these huge audits, teams with more auditors, and so we are tailoring educations right now to documentation. We are doing our annual coding conference is going to be focused
Hmm.
mostly on documentation because that's what the need is. So this is something that
Yeah.
maybe that has clicked with the membership. They've
Yeah.
seen that I've been listening and
Right.
identifying and moving it towards what the needs are.
It's so important to remain flexible as a leader. And advice do you have for other leaders or chapter officers and being a successful leader of a chapter? Like what tips, advice, or characteristics you think they have to have?
I've learned from my prior president Michelle Rivero. I learned that we need to take everything, almost everything, to a voting consensus within the board. We've done a lot of surveying our membership. Uh,
Serving.
what do you want? What do you need? Where are you located? Puerto Rico is small, but if you want to move from the west to the metropolitan area, that's a 3 hour drive. So, where's our audience? What their needs are? That I'm trying to make sure that we have all these channels monitored. We have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have LinkedIn, we have a WhatsApp channel. I want to make sure that the communication runs, that people knows what we're doing, that they feel that they can reach out to us.
Mm.
We have an email. So I want to make sure that people feel that we are approachable,
Nice.
and that they can come to us. Again, I'm trying to pay it forward because AAPC has given me a lot of luck. What I have in my business right now has been through networking, through um, people that have recognized me from conference I've given and everything like that. So I'm trying to teach people to do the same. I'm an introvert, but you know what? Stand up there, uh, do your thing, like you mentioned, Dave. Do what you need to
Yeah.
do, what needs to be done, and
Hmm.
people recognize that, and people apparently people have identified me a source of information, a source uh, of even a consulting professional to help them with different tasks. And there's a lot of value with networking. I know APC talks about this a lot. Officers talked about this a lot. But I feel that people still do not understand the importance of networking and how
Hmm.
much you can get through networking. And yeah, I still think that at least in Puerto Rico, there's a lot that can be done about it. I'm trying to learn from other chapters what they're doing networking wise,
Hmm.
because virtual meetings, those are not the best places to network. So I'm still looking for what can we do? How can we deliver? So yeah, with my officers, with my fellow officers, we have a WhatsApp chat. I'm sorry, WhatsApp chat, and we try to maintain communication there all the time, to make sure that tasks are delegated, things keep running. I'm a bit OCD, they know it. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, they know it. Uh, but we are all professionals. We all have work. This is not a full-time job, so I try to delegate tasks and keep running because there's a lot to be done, and there's a lot of opportunity as well to
Yeah.
continue giving.
Hey, David, I just noticed in the chat, somebody was asking, would you be willing to share your coding games? Any coding games that you have
Oh,
or is there a
sure.
way
They're
they
in
reach
Spanish,
out to you and maybe
but
you
yeah,
can
we
send
can
them?
share it.
What'd you say?
We have it in Spanish. The question were in
Oh, in
Spanish, but
Spanish.
yeah, we can do it. Sure,
Cool.
sure we can.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, we'll see if we can get a hold of that, and then you can reach out to us. We'll see if we can get you some of those things. Well, David, yeah, it seems like you, from what I read about the article, you've been more than willing to sort of share your own personal contacts and your own networks and things like that with all of your chapter as well. And I
Mhm.
think just bringing our experience, also bringing our network to it can really help where it's not just us. We're not just coming to a place, right? We can
Yep.
bring those things that we have with us and share those things with us and not just receive, but kind of give in that same way. Well, you're awesome, David. This has been
Thank
fun.
you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you very
David,
much.
for being with us.
Yeah, and
Thank you.
congratulations again on being Officer of the Year. See
Yeah.
if you can win it again next year and do like back to back and then do like a three-peat. So if you do 3 years in a row, then we'll do
Um,
something really, really special for
the
you.
Michael Jordan of AAPC officers.
There you go.
Has anyone repeated?
I don't know. Alex, you know, maybe
I have
I
to
I
take a look
don't
at the
know.
list.
I can't imagine, but there's just always a first, David.
yeah,
Yep.
always a first come to shoot for. Well, thanks, David. It was
Thank
good to
you.
speak
Thank
with
you all
you.
very much.
Yeah.
You
Have a
take
good
care.
day.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right, and now we're going to bring in Jamie Hardeman. And Jamie has published an article, or we published her article in also the May, I want to say May 2024. We're in 2025. The May 2025, just last month's AAPC The Magazine. Hi, Jamie.
Hi, how's it going?
So good. We're excited that you're here. So do you know Ava or do you know of Ava?
Um, yeah, I don't really know Ava, but I did meet her previously, like 30 minutes ago. It's good to see you again.
Right.
Yes, you too, Jamie. So happy to be here with you.
Nice. And of course, Alex. So, Alex, he's manning some of the chat on the virtual end. So he'll be throwing kind of some questions out there that the virtual guests have for you.
Hey,
Uh,
can I throw one out real quick?
yeah.
And maybe Jamie can answer this or Ava. Someone was asking about ICD 11 and if there's a launch date revealed for that. And I said I have not heard anything. And it was kind of a big deal to switch to ICD 10. And I would think we would know if there was a specific date. Have you guys heard anything?
I haven't heard of a specific date either, Alex. That's a good question.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I know I
Can't
see
know that either, no.
Okay.
that transition from 9 to 10. I felt like that
Mhm.
lasted 40 years or something.
It did.
And so
True.
I can only imagine that the transition from 10 to 11 might
Yeah. Yeah.
a big change.
Even when they had the date announced, that date,
Mhm.
as you got closer, seemed to get moved a couple times.
Yeah, just pushing the goalposts. Well, Jamie, we're excited that you're here. We want to talk a little bit about your article. I read through it earlier this morning, and I actually picked out a lot of parts of it that I really liked and thought were cool. But do you want to kind of give us a little bit of background about who you are and kind of where you're from, how you got into coding, and maybe a little bit about your article, about what that's about.
Well, I'm a new coder and I got into coding because I was thinking to myself, well, how can I um, how can I join my interest in healthcare with like something I can do from home? Because I was about to have my son. My son is 18 months old now, and I was like, okay, I want a job that I can do from home and that is healthcare related. Um, I have been a CNA, a certified nurse aide, and I've been working in that field for a long time, and I really enjoyed that. But I was like, well, something that pays a little better. And I got suckered in by one of those ads. I
Mm.
for it. It's like, oh, like you can learn medical coding in just 4 months, and then you can have this great career. And I was like, sold. And then I get into it, and it turns out it's a lot. It takes a little bit more time than 4 months. It's quite a cerebral field. There's a lot to learn. So
Mhm.
it took me longer than 4 months to learn it, but I do really enjoy it. Um,
So,
uh, yeah. So
oh,
that's
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Keep going.
Um, but yeah, I don't regret it at all. I'm still looking for my first role, but I really trust in God's timing for everything. Like I feel like it's gonna happen at the right time. So I'm not stressing about it. I'm taking this time to just continue being a caregiver and finishing up my creative writing degree. And I just finished Practicode as of last week. So
Oh, you finished it. Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Yeah.
It was good. It was harder than I expected. Like as I say in the article, it's like every time I sat down to do it, I was like, oh my God, like there's a lot to learn here that I don't know, but I'm really glad that I took the time and did that extra learning so that I'm even more prepared for a job when so I can get all my mistakes out of the way, or a lot of them before I actually find a role. So I was like, I'm really glad I did this.
And
Yeah.
Jamie, that makes sense because Practico, those are based off of real experience. Like a lot of them are real examples from real charts, samples, just didacted. So that makes sense. When you were working as a CNA, did you know any coders on site? Like, did you ever hear anything about it when you were working?
It's kind of funny. It's a little bit of a hidden career because I didn't even really hear about it. I was out on the floor taking care of real patients and I was working with the nurses but we never really talked about the medical coding side. And I was like, when I learned about it, I was like, how did I not know about this before? But it makes sense. Like somebody's got to read the notes and make the codes and fix the bills. But yeah.
Yeah. And so it was cool reading your story about you taking your CPC exam and how you felt about it going in, your motivation around that. Do you want to give us a little bit of that? Tell us kind of uh, uh, in regards to how that went and what you did after to celebrate.
Sure, sure. Well, for my CPB, I did the online proctoring experience, and that was interesting. Um, but
Nice.
for the CPC, I went in to, I believe it was University of Missouri, and I liked both experiences. I guess I would say I preferred going to the university and doing the in-person proctoring experience, because it was kind of celebratory. We got to get Taco Bell afterwards, and they also gave me a free stress ball, so I kept that as a take.
That was the part that I thought was so great is that in
Right.
your article, you're like, yeah, we loaded back in the car and went to Taco Bell to celebrate. I was
I
like,
love
oh,
it.
that's so
Very
cool.
real.
Like either way, pass or fail, I put some hard work into this and I'm hungry. So
Gotta treat yourself. Yeah, that's
yeah,
so
it's
cool.
important to celebrate your successes and I'm not stressed out about anything. I'm kind of in this phase right now in life where I'm like, nothing is worth stressing about. And you and take time to enjoy and celebrate your wins. So
Yeah,
Very
that's
nice.
awesome. So you took your CPB first, and then did you how what time period in between your CPB and your CPC or taking the CPC was there?
I believe I took my CPB in October of 2023, and that was like my son was born the following month. And then I took my CPC exam in May of 2024. And then I finished Practico this month in May of 2025. So I'm still hunting for that first role, but it's okay because I'm being a mama and I'm finishing up some other school, and I think it's all timing out really well. And yeah, I feel like the job is coming soon. It's just around the corner, so it'll
Yeah,
happen.
and you gave some tips about that too in your article about, well, just the things that you've learned, but the tips that you gave just about your learning process
Hmm.
also apply to that job hunting
Right.
process too. Believing in yourself, using
Hmm.
Practicode to get all that practice down and becoming a better like you were very humble in your
Hmm.
article too. I thought it was really cool. You're like, I realized I passed the test, but I wasn't a very good coder. I didn't really know how to code. And
Yeah.
so you
And
took it upon yourself to learn and to like really, really, delve into Practicode. You just finished it. That's so cool.
thank you so much. And yeah, it's definitely a big accomplishment and a lot to learn to pass the test, but there's another level of like being able to read actual redacted medical notes and like coding cases yourself. That's another level, and I'm really glad I did it. It was tough, but it was I feel like I've got a good foundation now.
Mhm.
So, so yeah,
And
I would
and
recommend
Jamie,
it.
it's so nice to see you where you are right now. Like you're very transparent in your journey. You're like, I passed my exams. Like that's such a big feat. You're celebrating that. And you're like, but I'm still looking for work, but you have a positive mindset. You're doing other things in the meantime. And it's just, I feel like people are gonna watch your journey and be inspired, and that every step counts. Like this is very real and it's nice to witness this part. Do you have any advice for other, because it sounds like, I mean, you took the exams and studied while you were pregnant, right? Do you have any advice for women going through the same thing or working moms or how you balance everything?
Well, self-care is essential. Like having a baby, it's adds a lot to your workload. Like those little babies, they need so much love and so much care. But if your body doesn't feel good and your mind doesn't feel good, you really can't get much done. So just take all the time you need to take care of yourself, eat well, get a bath, all that stuff. It's really important. And don't try not to stress. Stress just is a
Mm,
killer. So
yeah.
enjoy life, take deep breaths. Anyway, that's kind of like my journey right now and what I'm focusing on. But that's the advice I would give to pretty much anybody, and especially to new moms, because stress doesn't help anybody.
I'm raising my hand for the class. Dave, may I go?
Absolutely.
Yes. Hey,
Yes, Alex.
quick question, Jamie. How are you separating yourself, or what are you doing that's unique to help you put yourself in a position for that first job?
Mm.
Are you connected with your local APC chapter? Are you in LinkedIn? How are you networking? Any or all of it? What are you doing?
Well, so far because of my work schedule, I haven't been able to like attend in-person meetings, but I have been in contact with the leader of my local chapter, and she was very kind and reached out and said, "Hey, I saw your article," and I was like, "Thank you," and I'm gonna be able to make the next one hopefully because I'd really like to meet some people in person, and um, hopefully this article will kind of help me get up there a little bit. I've got the article on my resume, and it's kind of a nice way to combine my interests of writing with medical coding. So what else am I doing? I'm keeping active on LinkedIn. I'm keeping up with my CEUs, and I'm just trying to code a little bit every day, continue with my studies. Like even though Practicode is finished, I still have a goal of studying 15 to 30 minutes a day. So
And you're
yeah,
working with a recruiter, right?
that too. I'm working with a recruiter for it's a HCC, United Health. It's one of those like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the name of the job.
Mhm.
Um,
Having
but
to do with HCCs.
yes,
So risk adjustment.
risk adjustment. Yes, my mind is blanking, but yes.
Yeah, totally. Nice. That's a really good start for new coders as well. HCC coding, with a
Mhm.
focus on diagnosis coding, and a lot of risk adjustment companies and even insurance companies like to hire newbies with no bad habits, and they're easy to train. And again, you just focus on ICD-10 coding, and it's like a subset of codes and guidelines, like focusing on chronic conditions. So that's a really, really good start.
That's what I've heard. It's a great way to start,
Mhm.
and so I'm hopeful about that. I just heard last week that they are gonna hire again starting in July or August. So fingers crossed. I didn't make the first cut, but maybe I'll make the second cut.
Very nice.
There's a comment from Talia Fortier in the chat. She says, "I got my CPC while pregnant. I was 8.5 months along when I sat for the nearly 6 hour exam at the time.
Wow.
When we put our mind to it, we can do anything." And that it's just awesome to see people just like yourself, Jamie, who are overcoming obstacles and moving forward to make their dream come true.
I'm a believer, like if you put your mind to it, you can do anything.
Nice.
And
That's great.
Oh,
thank you.
Jamie.
And
Yeah, I liked what you said about stress too. I was thinking
Hmm.
about that and how it really does. Stress takes so much energy and it saps,
Hmm.
drains us of the energy that we could use to do. And it's like, no, no good, no stress.
Hmm.
I mean, stress is something we all face, but I tend to be somewhat of an anxious person. So I'm like, okay, how do I reduce and eliminate
Yeah.
stress in my life? So that's like a big focus for me right now. And
Yeah,
yeah,
one of the things in your article that kind of talked about that was finding your process. And I
Mm.
think when you find your process and you can be methodical about the way that you do some things, then you
Right.
kind of get that muscle memory and
Mhm.
stress goes away because you start acting like on autopilot rather than
Mhm.
I got to figure this all out, so many moving parts. So it's cool. Just I think being patient with yourself and that finding your process. I love that. So.
thank you.
Ava, you have a lot of credentials too. You've taken a lot of tests. How have they compared? Have you found a process that works for you or some sort of uh, routine that you do?
Oh, thank you for
Well,
asking. So I have I took over 29 board exams, so I have 29 certifications, and I didn't always pass on the first attempt. That's important to also say. And it's just studying. So I was a teacher. I'm still a teacher, but I had a lot of students wanting to learn all kinds of different areas of coding. And so I'm like, well, I have to do my due diligence to learn all these areas so that I can teach them and like practice what I preach. So that's really what prompted me to just keep going. And so my best advice is just study and if you don't pass an exam, look at the areas where you didn't do well and really focus on studying in those areas. Like if it's CPC, if medical terminology was your area of weakness, or coding cases, or maybe surgery, or whatever your area was, just focus and study and be a part of the forums. Facebook is really good. That's a really good group for the APC forums and your chapter meetings. Talk to people who have the certifications that you're trying to get, get advice from them, get mentors, networking, but just, yeah, a lot of studying. I really put my head down and studied hard. I was really, really determined. And I didn't give up. That's the thing as well.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, and you saying that it if you fail, hey, just
Hmm.
take it again. That's okay.
Right.
It's likely gonna happen, and that's all right.
Hmm.
I think that word failure, right?
Hmm.
It's such a has such a negative, strong association with it, with feelings, and I think maybe we could call it something different. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Oh,
So
that's
that
a
we
good
don't feel
one.
like,
Yeah.
everything, our life is ending when we fail a test or whatever, fail at
Yeah.
this, or fail at that. I think it's all just experience, right?
I
It's
heard
learning.
someone call failure fall up one time.
Hmm.
I know.
All up. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
cool. I guess it depends on what you do with it too, right? You can
Hmm.
fail and just that downward spiral of I'm
Right.
no good, I can't do this, all of that, which just continues to pull
Yeah.
you down. Or you
Right.
can say, "Oh, I didn't pass, but look what I did do, and look what I
Right.
do." Like you're saying, the areas that I need to study on,
Yeah.
or like Jamie, how you're saying you try and dedicate a little bit of time every day just to practice coding, just so you can
Yeah.
keep your skills sharp. I think
Yeah,
that's
that's
so
good.
cool. And not just for coding, but all the other things that we do in our lives that really need attention that we often don't give it to because there's just so many other things going on. So
Right.
There's a mindset with those like
Hmm.
Jamie who will break through. I mean, I know we see a lot of individuals
Hmm.
who express frustration of not being able to find that first job, but I
Hmm.
see patterns and a type of personality of just staying positive and being willing to try different
Right.
things other than just apply, apply, apply. Well, there are other things you can do,
Hmm.
and I feel that that desire from Jamie. Real quick, Lori Harmillo is asking about the job ready program that we've it's a new thing that we've added to our distance learning programs that you could purchase. And Lori, I don't know a ton about it. Dave may know more than I. I just know it's been very popular, and it's
Hmm.
something that we're nurturing and hoping to build upon. Dave, do you know much about that
I
program?
don't. I wasn't involved in that early on, and so I haven't really been in touch with that too much. So, but I think, I mean, I don't know if we even have stuff on the website about it
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah. Um, and just as far as finding a job, um, if there's an opening at the place you want to work for like a different role, get your foot in the door at the company. That's always an important thing too. I know that's something we're working on the NAB across different committees, but just there's no small job, we're saying. So get your, and that's what I've done at places where I wanted to work as well. I'll start like at an entry level position or wherever just to get my foot in, and it helps. When you're applying for the role, you're like, well, I'm already employed by the company. Like you have the same values of the company, the core missions, and they might know your boss. And it's like, hey, ask your boss, how is this person? And they'll give you a good reference. And then if you want to transfer, so that's important too. Just get your foot in the door and get with a recruiter. And it's just for my position where I've been able to hire people, I've hired people without any coding experience as well. even for a documentation job, which is not very common, but it's just I'm a firm believer in taking chances on people who are willing to learn and who seem like they have the grit and they can study and they're good at and having a gut feeling about those people, but there are going to be people who will take a chance on you as well. Character goes a long way. And Jamie, one of the things I commented about you is how positive you are. And I feel like that makes such a big difference. Like, and also from that perspective, I'll be honest, when I'm looking at people or interviewing, I'm also asking myself, do I want to work with this person? They have a good demeanor. Are they positive? Are they going to add to the team? It's not just about work and skills all the time. It's about the full package because skills can be developed, experience is earned, but character is not something that you can learn, right? It comes with what you've been through. So that's important too. So it's just a full package. It's, just look at that holistically.
And I love how Jamie has not worked a day as a coder, yet she wrote an article in the magazine.
Right.
She's looking for ways to contribute. And we have members who are chapter officers who have never worked a day as a coder yet. And those are things that can help you get where you want.
I believe, everything works out. Everything I've ever done in my life, it always circles back. So, yeah, like it's tempting to despair. It's tempting to get despairing sometimes, but there's really no reason to despair. Like everything works out for good. Like I really do believe that. And yeah, and this is a really cool field when helping people who need it. And yeah, I really enjoyed like learning about it. I like watching like medical videos on YouTube and stuff. And so yeah, thank you so much for having me today. Like it's a big honor.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we're lucky to have you submit an article and, give us your experience, tell your story too. Everybody's at different points in their career or their journey. Some haven't even started it yet that maybe are watching, and your story helps motivate them too.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, everybody, if you haven't read Jamie's article, it's in last month's issue of AAPC The Magazine, the May issue. Check it out. It's really good. It's got some great tips in it.
The comments went crazy today, Dave.
We had a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there more in there that you wanted to mention?
Not particular. We can't cover them all, but so much support for Jamie and her outlook and just building on what our discussion. So thank you for all those who shared in the comments.
And Jamie, what part of the country are you in? Can you let us know?
I'm in
Let
Branson,
everybody else
Missouri.
know. She said Branson, Missouri, right? Yeah. All right.
It's
So,
a fun little family vacation town. Yeah, and
and
we've
if
got the
you,
mountains.
oh, nice. Yeah, yeah. If people wanted to reach out to you, what's the best way to reach you? Are you on LinkedIn or what would be the best way?
I'm on LinkedIn.
Okay. All
I
right.
recently quit other forms of social media, but I'm still on LinkedIn. So
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did that a while back. I left Facebook in like 2017. It was great. And then I had to get back on to sell some things on Facebook Marketplace and do these live streams, right? So you
Yeah.
find ways that you have to still use it, but I'm with you on the only using what you really need to and getting
Hey,
Facebook, all the other stuff.
Jamie's inspired me today. I'm kind of floating right now. So, and I know others in the comments are watching too, who are feeling the same. So thank you, Jamie.
thank you, Alex. Thank you all, everybody, for your support and kindness. And I look forward to connecting with you all on LinkedIn.
Awesome. Cool. Well, this has been fun. Thanks, Jamie. Thanks, Ava, for joining us for
Yes.
the whole duration of social hour. You're awesome. Alex, of course.
Yeah.
Brother,
Virtual hugs, my
another
friend.
mother. Yes, virtual hugs for all. All right, well, have a great rest of the day, everyone, and
Bye,
take care.
everybody.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you all.